Hello, Assalamu alaikum class. In today's recorded lecture, we are going to discuss about the novel Around the World in 80 Days. Around the World in 80 Days is a classic adventure novel by the French writer Jules Verne, and it's published in 1873. In the story, Philip Fogg, a London gentleman of malicious and unchanging habits, hires as his valet Jean Passepartout, a Frenchman who has had a variety of jobs, including circus performer, but now seeks a tranquil life. After reading in the Daily Telegram that a new railroad in India has made it theoretically possible to travel around the world in 80 days, Fogg bet his fellow member at the Reform Club that he will make that journey in 80 days or less. The wager is for the princely sum of £20,000 wager. That is 1.6 million today. Leaving that night, Fogg and Passepartout board a train to begin their journey. The story starts in London on Tuesday, October 1, 1872. Phileas Fogg is a rich British gentleman living in solitude. Despite his wealth, Fogg lives a modest life and habits carried out with mathematical precision. Very little can be said about his social life other than that he is a member of the Reform Club. At the Reform Club, Fogg gets involved in an argument over an article in the Daily Telegraph, starting that with the opening of a new railway section in India. It is now possible to travel around the world in 80 days. He accepts a wager for £20,000 from his fellow club members, which he will receive if he makes it round the world in 80 days. Accompanied by Passepartout, he leaves London by train on 8:45 p.m. on Wednesday, October 2, 1872, and is due back at the Reform Club at the same time 80 days later, Saturday 21, 1872. The itinerary, as originally planned, starts from London in the United Kingdom to Suez in Egypt by rail to Brindisi and steamer, the Mongolia across the Mediterranean Sea. It takes 7 days. From Suez to Bombay and India by steamer, the Mongolia, across the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. It takes 13 days. From Bombay to Calcutta by rail in 3 days. From Calcutta to Victoria and Hong Kong by steamer the Rangoon across the South China Sea in 13 days. From Hong Kong to Yokohama in Japan by steamer the Carnatic across the South China Sea, East China Sea and the Pacific Ocean in 6 days. From Yokohama to San Francisco in United States by steamer the Journal Grant across the Pacific Ocean, it takes 22 days. from San Francisco to New York City by rail in 7 days. Finally, from New York to London by steamer, to China across the Atlantic Ocean to Liverpool, and rail, this will take 8 days. The total days for the journey is 79 as planned. Fogg and Passepartout reach Suez in time. While disembarking in Egypt, they are watched by a Scotland Yard detective named Fix, who had been dispatched from London in search of a bank robber. Because Fogg matched the vague description of the robber, Fix mistakes Fogg for the criminal since he cannot secure a warrant in time. Fix boards the steamer, the Mongolia, conveying the travelers to Bombay. Fix becomes acquainted with Passepartout without revealing his purpose. Fogg promises the steamer engineer a large reward if he gets them to Bombay earlier. They dock 2 days ahead of schedule. After reaching India, they take a train from Bombay to Calcutta. Fogg learns that the Daily Telegraph article was wrong. The railroad ends at Kolbai and starts again 50 miles further on at Allahabad. Fogg buys an elephant, hires a guide, and starts towards Allahabad. They came across a procession in which a young Indian woman, Auda, is led to his country to be sacrificed by Syote the next day by Brahmins. Since the young woman is drugged with opium and hemp and is obviously not going voluntary, the traveler decided to rescue her. They follow the procession to the site where Passepartout takes the place of Auda's deceased husband on the funeral pyre on which she is to be burned. During the ceremony, he rises from the pyre, scaring off the praise, and carries the young woman away. The 12 hours gained earlier are lost, but Fogg shows no regret. The traveler hastens to catch the train at the next railway station, taking Auda with them. At Calcutta, they board a steamer, the Rangoon, going to Hong Kong. Fix has Fogg and Passepartout arrested. They jump bail and Fix follows them to Hong Kong. He shows himself to Passepartout, who is delighted to again meet his traveling companion. In Hong Kong, it turns out that Auda's distant relative, in whose care they had been planning to leave her, have moved to Holland. So, they decide to take her with them to Europe. Still without a warrant, Fix sees Hong Kong as his last chance to arrest Fogg on British soil. Passepartout becomes convinced that Fix is a spy from the Reform Club. Fix confides in Passepartout, who does not believe a word and remains convinced that his master is not a bank robber. Fix gets Passepartout drunk and drug him in an opium den. Passepartout still manages to catch the steamer to Yokohama, but neglects to inform Fogg that the steamer is leaving the evening before the scheduled departure date. Fogg discovered that he missed his connection. He searched for a vessel that will take him to Yokohama. Reunited, the four boards a paddle steamer, the Journal Grand, taking them across the Pacific to San Francisco. Fixed promises passaporte that now, having left British soil, he will no longer try to delay Fogg's journey, but support him in getting back to Britain to minimize the amount of his share of the stolen money that Fogg can send. The companions arrive at Queenstone Cove in Ireland, take the train to Dublin, and then a ferry to Liverpool. Still in time to reach London before the deadline. Once on English soil, Fix produces a warrant and arrests Fogg. A short time later, the misunderstanding is cleared up. The actual robber, James Straw, was caught 3 days earlier in Edinburgh. However, Fogg has missed the train and arrives in London 5 minutes late, certain he lost the wagon. Fogg apologized to Oda for bringing her with him, since he now has to live in poverty and cannot support her. But Oda confesses that she loves him and asks him to marry her. He calls for Passepartout to notify the minister. The following day, at the minister, Passepartout learned that he is mistaken in the date, which he takes to be Sunday, December 22, but which is actually Saturday, December 21, because the party travel eastward, gaining a day. The wager can be still won, but there is very little time left. Passepartout hurries to inform Fogg, who reaches the Reform Club just in time to win the wager. Fogg marries Oda, and the journey around the world is complete within 80 days.